Many people wake up each day with a to-do list longer than what they can realistically handle. Not because life is too hard, but because they're holding too much in their mind. From work plans and financial pressure to small, scattered thoughts about other people, all of it builds into a heavy weight. You can't see it, but you feel it through the exhaustion that lingers all day. A large part of stress doesn't come from circumstances, but from how tightly you hold on to everything. You want to control outcomes, want others to understand you, want things to go your way. But reality doesn't work like that. When things drift away from your expectations, you immediately react. That reaction is what creates suffering, not the situation itself. If you look closely, you'll see that many of the thoughts you carry aren't necessary at all. You replay old conversations, analyze every word, imagine what others might be thinking. None of this helps, yet it takes up space in your mind. When your inner space is crowded, you lose the ability to clearly see what's actually happening in front of you. You don't need to change your life overnight to notice a difference. You just need to reduce your reactions to everything. When a thought appears, you don't have to follow it. When an uncomfortable emotion arises, you don't need to explain it or fight it. Let it be there, and it will pass on its own. It's simple, but not easy, because you're used to interfering with everything. The image of Thich Minh Tue walking with nothing is not meant to impress. It reflects a state that modern people rarely reach, not needing more to feel enough. Not everyone has to live that way, but anyone can learn to reduce unnecessary demands within their own mind. You may have many things, but that doesn't mean you need to carry all of them in your mind. Work is work. Relationships are relationships. Thoughts are thoughts. When you mix everything together, everything becomes tangled. Letting go here isn't about throwing things away externally, it's about putting everything back in its proper place internally. An ordinary day can feel lighter when you stop carrying what doesn't belong. Not everything needs deep thinking. Not every word needs to be remembered. When you stop storing everything in your mind, you begin to have space, and that space is what allows you to breathe more easily. Many people think letting go is weakness, as if you're giving up responsibility. But it's actually the opposite. You still work, still solve problems, but you don't let them cling to you after they're done. You finish, and that's it. You don't bring it home, don't replay it in your head. This is a more effective way of working, not laziness. The habit of holding on to everything keeps the mind from ever resting. You end your workday, but your mind keeps running. Imaginary conversations, situations that haven't happened, worries that aren't real, all of it consumes energy without producing results. You feel tired, but don't know why. When you begin to let go, you'll notice many things fall away on their own without effort. Some concerns are no longer as important as you thought. Some worries disappear when you stop feeding them. You don't have to solve everything, you just need to stop holding on to them for too long. Attachment is the root of suffering. This isn't a distant idea. It shows up every day in how you cling to an outcome, an expectation, or a self-image. When reality doesn't match it, you feel uncomfortable. Not because reality is wrong, but because you don't want to let go of what you're holding. Attachment is the root of suffering. This doesn't mean you have to stop wanting. You can still set goals and make effort, but you don't need to tie your self-worth to the outcome. When you separate yourself from the result, you work with a clearer mind and less pressure. You don't need to live an extreme minimalist life to understand the value of letting go. Just start with small things in your day. Let go of one unnecessary thought. Don't react immediately when triggered. Don't try to prove anything in a pointless argument. These small things create a big difference over time. A clear mind doesn't mean having no thoughts. It means not holding on to what's unnecessary. When you clear things out, you begin to see what truly matters. Decisions become simpler. Reactions slow down. You're no longer pulled around by everything outside of you. Not everyone needs to leave the world to find peace, but everyone needs to learn how to let go within. When you stop holding on to what's unnecessary, life naturally becomes lighter. And in that lightness, you begin to see things more clearly, no longer distorted by your own thoughts and expectations. No one likes uncomfortable feelings, and the natural reaction is to escape them as quickly as possible. You feel tired, you distract yourself. You feel sad, you look for something to forget. You feel anxious, you search for immediate answers. But the more you run, the more dependent you become on escaping. This creates a loop you don't notice, where every discomfort becomes something that must be eliminated right away. Modern life conditions you to convenience, and in the process, you gradually lose your ability to endure. Even a little waiting makes you uncomfortable. The moment a negative emotion appears, you want to shut it down immediately. But this lack of patience weakens the mind. You lose the ability to stay with what isn't pleasant, and that makes everything heavier than it needs to be. Pain is not always a problem that needs fixing. Often, it's just a signal, a sense of fatigue, a sadness, an emptiness. If you pause and look at it, you'll see that it has a structure, that it changes, that it has a beginning and an end. But if you react immediately, you'll never understand what it really is. People who have a strong ability to endure are not stronger because of some inherent trait, but because they don't rush to react. When emotions arise, they let them stay for a while. No analysis, no judgment, no attempt to control, just observation. It sounds simple, but it's actually very difficult because you're used to doing something right away. An uncomfortable feeling usually doesn't last long if you don't interfere, but when you resist it, you keep it around longer. You think about it, you label it, you try to solve it. And that process is what makes it grow. If you let it pass naturally, it will lose its energy faster than you expect. Looking at the way Thich Minh Tue walks under uncomfortable conditions, you can see something clearly. There is no resistance. Not because there is no pain, but because there is no reaction to pain in the usual way. This is not self-punishment. It is a way of understanding the limits of the body and the reactions of the mind. You don't need to put yourself in extreme situations to learn this. In everyday life, you already have enough opportunities. A comment that bothers you, a situation that doesn't go your way, a day that feels off. These things are small, but your reactions to them are often big, and that is exactly where you can begin to practice. When you stay with discomfort, something interesting happens. It doesn't remain the same as it was at the beginning. It changes, it fades, it disappears. But if you never stay long enough, you will always believe it is unbearable. The truth is, most emotions last shorter than you think if you don't hold on to them. The habit of reacting immediately takes away your ability to observe. You no longer clearly see what's happening inside you. You only see your reactions. This leads you to misunderstand yourself. You think you are weak, but in reality, you've just never stayed with a feeling long enough. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. This doesn't deny pain. It simply points out that suffering comes from how you respond. You can feel pain without making it worse. You can go through an emotion, without turning it into a long story in your head. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. When you understand this, you begin to create distance from your emotions. You are no longer pulled in immediately. You see them, but you don't become them. It's a small shift, but it has a powerful impact on how you live each day. Inner silence doesn't come from eliminating all emotions. It comes from no longer overreacting to them. You still feel, but you are not dragged along. You still experience discomfort, but it doesn't control you. This creates a stable foundation that you didn't have before. Many people think strength is the ability to endure big challenges, but in reality, it starts with very small things. One moment of not reacting, one time of not speaking while you're upset, one time of not acting immediately when emotions rise. These moments accumulate and become steadiness. When you stop running from your emotions, you begin to understand them. When you understand them, you no longer fear them. And when there is no fear, there is no need to avoid them. This frees up a lot of energy that you used to spend fighting yourself. True strength is not in eliminating all difficulties. It is in the ability to remain still when difficulty appears. When you can observe without reacting immediately, you are no longer controlled by circumstances. And that is a kind of freedom that no one can take away from you. You can walk all day and not remember where you've been. Not because your memory is bad, but because you weren't truly present. Your body moves, but your mind is somewhere else. This happens constantly in life, yet you rarely notice it. Many people live on autopilot. Working, eating, talking, everything runs on habit. You react before you even realize it. Without awareness, everything passes by without leaving a clear trace. You live, but you don't truly experience life. Mindfulness is not something distant or complicated. It is simply knowing what you are doing while you are doing it. No adding, no interpreting. A simple act, but it requires continuous attention, and that attention changes the quality of your experience. An ordinary step can feel different if you truly experience it. The sensation of your foot touching the ground, the rhythm of movement, the breath that comes with it. Nothing extra is needed, just awareness. When you do this, the mind naturally slows down without force. Looking at the way Thich Minh Tue walks, you can see consistency, no rushing, no distraction. Each step is clear. This doesn't come from complex techniques, but from not letting the mind wander elsewhere. You don't need to change your environment to practice. Even in the smallest actions, you already have the opportunity. When you eat, just eat. No phone, no thinking about something else. You notice the taste, the pace, the feeling of fullness. It's simple, but rarely done properly. The breath is always there, yet you rarely pay attention to it. When you return to the breath, you have an anchor, not to control, but to be aware. Breathing in, you know you are breathing in. Breathing out, you know you are breathing out. No need to change anything, just see it clearly. Emotions can be observed in the same way. When you feel sad, you know you are sad. No need to explain it right away. No need to escape it, just recognize it. This creates a small distance between you and the emotion. The mind tends to drift to the past or the future because that is its habit. You revisit old stories or worry about what hasn't happened, but neither exists in the present. When you return to what is happening right now, you break that loop. The present is not an abstract idea. It is what is happening right in front of you. Sounds, sensations, breath, movement. When you pay attention to these, you are no longer pulled by things that are not real in this moment. Be mindful in every step. This doesn't require perfection. You will forget, you will get distracted, but each time you notice, you return. This process repeats again and again, and gradually becomes more natural. Be mindful in every step, not to become someone else, but to return to yourself. You don't need to add anything, just reduce distraction. When attention is sustained, you begin to see clearly what was previously overlooked. A mindful mind does not mean having no thoughts. It still thinks, but it is not carried away. You know what you are thinking, and you can stop when needed. This creates intention instead of automatic reaction. When you are fully present, small things become clearer. A meal, a conversation, a step. Nothing extraordinary, yet nothing feels dull. The experience becomes direct, without too many layers of thought. Awakening is not a distant destination. It is not somewhere else or sometime else. It begins with paying attention to what is happening right now. When attention is clear enough, you no longer need to search for anything more.